Oh, look, it's a bunch of humans. Hi. Whether you're watching this right now as it's being streamed or watching it, I don't know, because you found it one night when you're drunk and I just happened to be in your recommendation. Welcome. Hey, hi. I'm Ash, aka the One Bun. If you're new, I'm an Ex-JW. I'm trans. I'm a whole bunch of other crap. I talk about a lot of shit and I do a lot of shit, but right now I've been mostly doing um, bunch of activism. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Last night was the Jehovah's Witness Super Bowl, if you want to call it that. Gosh, yeah, some people would call it that. Jehovah's Witness Christmas, Jehovah's Witness Super Bowl. One second, trying to pull up there it is. Sorry, I was just pulling up the live chat in case anybody actually has something to say. But yeah, so last night was Jehovah's Witness Super Bowl, Jehovah's Witness Christmas, and a lot of people um, stayed home, did nothing, which is totally valid, and I support that. If you want to hang out at home and relax and enjoy not having to stay up ridiculously late this time around, which I'll explain later, good on you. And I hope you enjoyed your night. Some of us decided we were gonna go out and protest or leave leaflets in places or you know try to attend the memorial and talk to witnesses. I wanted to attend my memorial, my local one yesterday. That was the original plan, and I was going to attend three others as well via Zoom. But yesterday I woke up really freaking sick, and it got like way worse as the day went on. And like seriously, by the end of the night, I was dying. I thought for a second it was like probably COVID, because at one point I was not able to smell anything. But I think, uh, judging on how I feel today and the symptoms I had today, I'm thinking it was just a sinus infection, but a really bad one. Because yay pollen and yay Texas. Anyway, enough of that fun stuff. Yeah, so I did end up still going ahead and crashing four Zoom memorials because I was at home and I was sick, and I felt like that wasn't a good enough excuse to not do activism. Uh, you know, I'm a little hard on myself sometimes. What can I say? But no, I mean, it wasn't really. It's not like it takes a lot of physical exertion or anything. I mean, I just had to push a couple buttons on a couple computers. Not a big deal. Um, but yes, I did end up crashing four. Obviously, since I was sick, still am sick. I haven't edited any of the footage. I haven't even gone back to really review it. I only opened a couple of videos to see if I could get some interesting enough screenshots to show you. And I do have two screenshots to show you, so we can talk about that later too. So before we go into that, before I show you the screenshots, I wanted to say, I don't know if you all noticed the memorial. Oh, thank you, Annie. I appreciate that. I don't know if you noticed that the memorial was at crazy times this year. Usually it's like around 7 o'clock. That's the normal time. This year, the memorial was at like 9 o'clock and like 9:30, 9:15 for a lot of people. The reason is apparently because the governing body was so slow at telling people, that they were going to want to have the memorial in person again, that they couldn't really book anything. A lot of these congregations couldn't book hotels like they normally would or other venues to be able to hold the massive amount of people, that they usually would when combining a bunch of congregations. So this time around, unfortunately, they had to stagger their memorials and share the kingdom halls. So if you were at the memorial at like, I don't know, 8 million o'clock last night, that's why. That's why. You can thank the governing body for that. Yeah, I was literally up until like almost midnight attending memorials. So fun. So there's that out of the way. Now I wanted to talk about um, hold on, I heard that they sang that song a special possession, so they were singing praises to the governing body worldwide. Yeah, they sing that song. I'm pretty sure at every memorial they have it. All the ones I've been to, and yeah, it's creepy. I even commented on that to somebody who was attending the memorial that was standing next to me one of the years that I crashed, 2019, I believe. I'm like, a special possession? Is that like demonic possession? So yeah. Anyway, the what I want to talk about now is the crashing. The first one, I won't name the places that these were in, but they were each in different places in the United States. I will say that different time zones, different states, yada yada. Because that's kind of how it has to be if I'm going to attend 4 of them. Yeah, the first one was on the West Coast, or no, the first one was on the East Coast. Sorry, brain. And it was the boring ass memorial, but they were one of the congregations who leaves their chat vulnerable. Like they actually have their chat still enabled during their Zoom meetings. So you know what I had to do. I had to drop my message. So let's go and take a look at that real quick. I think this is the right one. Yes, here we go. All right, so whoops, hold on. Let me move my big head here. Well, I can just move the image itself. That's fine. So here's what happened. Number 1. There we go. Yeah, so I blurred them out obviously, but yeah. So what I usually look for first in a Zoom crash is did they leave their chat open? And if they did, that makes my job so easy. All I have to do is like drop a message in there. Now, there is one caveat to that. Sometimes they have it set in their congregation to where you can only directly message the host or the co-host, and you can't message anybody else. So, I'll still usually drop a message for them if that's the case, but I do have another workaround for if that's what happens in that congregation. But this congregation, the very first one, or not congregation, the first memorial with multiple congregations, I presume, they had a Zoom only memorial. That was interesting. I remember them talking about that toward the beginning. Unfortunately, I hadn't started recording yet when they were talking about that. I hit record right after, but yeah, they said that they were having a Zoom only memorial because basically nobody was going to attend. Nobody was planning on attending in person, from what they understood. So they're like, screw it, we're just going to do it on Zoom entirely. And that's probably also because over in that part of the United States, they're having like surges of COVID at the moment or something, from what I heard. So there was that. But yeah, I saw that they had left their chat vulnerable. So I popped into their chat, and it looked like you can send a message to everyone. It says so right there, to everyone, which is great, and love to see it. I dropped my message in there, and it says, well, the whole thing reads, in Australia alone, it was discovered they failed to report over 1,000 Jehovah's Witness SOs. I mean, I don't even know why I'm disguising it. Like I don't monetize my videos. I think that's just out of habit from watching people. Let me read that again. In Australia alone, it was discovered they failed to report over 1,000 Jehovah's Witness sex offenders to the police. Oh, sorry, I'm not even starting the video. Okay, so you can't see the whole message because like it wouldn't fit in the chat. But in the beginning, it says your elders. It's in the first line before that says your elders may be failing to report child abuse. No, your elders may be failing to report child sexual abuse. There we go. So that's the first line, and then it says the stuff about Australia, and it says there were over 2,000 victims of said offenders. Aside from being morally reprehensible, this is illegal in many states. Please protect your children. This video from the Australian Royal Commission and I put in parentheses, investigation into systemic child abuse within organizations, shows Geoffrey Jackson admitting that the governing body are not God's only channel on earth. And I link them the video, and it goes directly to the timestamp of the video where they ask him if they think they're God's only channel, and he's like, "That'd be presumptuous." So that's there, and as soon as I throw up the link, of course they kick me out. But what are you gonna do? I mean, they didn't delete the message though before kicking me out, so well, yeah. At least they weren't like that other congregation that was the elder was just flustered and told people to not to look at the chat because he didn't know how to delete the message. It's really easy to delete messages, by the way. But anyway, yeah, so that was crash number one. Crash number one, success. Went off without a hitch. No big deal. Piece of cake. And then there was crash number two. Crash number two. That was, where was that? Somewhere in the Midwest. Yeah, that's right. I think. Yeah. It was either in the, I guess that counts as the Midwest. I'm trying to figure out if the place it was in was in the Midwest. But yeah, I think it counts as the Midwest. So, for that one, this one was the memorial, the only memorial I was actually invited to. And that memorial, I got the invitation from an elder who is the stepfather of an ex-Bethelite friend of mine. And that elder is an elder that I have videos of on my channel where we're studying and stuff. So he sent me an invitation, even though I've like pretty much ghosted him ages ago. Well, it wasn't really ghosting. He told me I had permission not to study for a little while so that I could work out my marriage, because I told him my wife was suspicious of the Jehovah's Witnesses or something. Anyway, so yeah, I got that invitation, went to that memorial, and it was pretty boring. Except I will say that this guy, because it was the elder that I studied with, that I was just talking about, that was actually giving the talk. I will say he was more enthusiastic and animated. Like, he really was into the talk. Like, he sounded like he really believed the shit he was saying, and he was selling it. Speaking of selling, isn't it cringe how at the end of the memorial there's always this creepy, like, MLM-esque, like, at the end of a Tupperware party kind of, or jewelry party kind of sales pitch where they're like, if you would like to know more information, please reach out to one of Jehovah's Witnesses or speak with one of Jehovah's Witnesses. They always say that at the end of the memorial, and I hate it. It comes off really corporate and cheap, and bleh. It just reminds me of like MLMs, like, which is honestly how I view Jehovah's Witnesses anyway, as a corporation, as an MLM, multi-level marketing scheme, in case you don't know what they are. So yeah, like, that's really cringe. So he was, pretty animated, though. He seemed happy. He was like very passionate and emotional about how he wanted to see his family members in paradise. And I was like, all right. Well, I'll give it to him for at least being passionate. But so this memorial, this one was the first one I ran into where they had this guy had disabled the chat entirely, and I was like, shit. Okay, so there's no chat. I can't even drop a message to the guy who's running, the Zoom. So that sucks. But I had a brainstorm, and it's like, I know what I can do. I can play the video or show them like the link on screen. And so I wanted to try the text version of that first, and that's what I ended up doing. I do not have a screenshot of that because of some unfortunate technical difficulties, so I wasn't even able to get footage of that part. I have like literally the whole memorial, but not where at the very end, that's where I do it. At the very end, right after the prayer, I jump in there and I'm like, boom, and I give them the information. I actually screen share as my camera instead of like, so like, you know how in Zoom you can turn on your camera and it's your face? Well, I use a virtual camera to make my whatever I want, actually, my camera, so they'll see it like they're looking at my camera. So I showed them a screen of that text right there, So that, interestingly enough, as soon as I put that up on screen, they shut the whole Zoom memorial off. And I don't mean they kicked me out, because I was logged in on 2 computers, so I could see what happens afterwards. They didn't kick me out. They kicked everybody out. Like, they literally shut the whole thing down. They just threw the whole thing in the trash. They didn't want anybody looking at it. So next memorial, after that, memorial number 3. That was my local one. That one I actually had to reach out to the elder, because that one I really did ghost. I had to reach out to the elder I had been studying with from that congregation. Not really studying with. This was activism studying. But anyway, I reached out to him literally like hours before the memorial. Told him that, something similar, like, yeah, my marriage kind of fell apart and stuff. Similar to like the story I have with the other elder. I told him, yeah, my marriage is falling apart and my wife's gonna divorce me. So, I haven't been doing too well. Sorry, I haven't spoken with you or gotten back to you in months. That's what's been going on. But I thought I'd reach out to you anyway, because I thought some spiritual encouragement or spiritual support would be good. I know, cringe. And I told him that to hit me up and let me know when the next I called it Lord's evening meal was, because I remembered that that's how we got to talking. Yeah, I was a little sentimental in there. So he actually hit me back immediately, like 2 minutes after he hit me back. Oh, hey, it's Lala, and guess what? You're a moderator now. Anyway, yeah. So not that I even need a moderator. I have like 2 people in my chats at any point. I appreciate all 2 of you, but yeah, technically neither of you is moderating, right? You're not being bad, so that's good. So yeah, that guy responded to my email literally like 2 minutes after I sent it. He is like he's like that though. He's very desperate, I guess. So yeah, he was like, "Oh, I'm so glad to hear from you, and I'm sorry," because I told him I was sick. I told him, "Oh, I'm really sick right now, but hopefully I'll be better by the time that it's time for the next Lord's evening meal." So he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry you're sick, but you're just in time, because the memorial's tonight." And then he sent me the link and the time and all that shit. Perfect. I didn't even have to ask him for it. But yeah, I mean, not like literally. I told him like hit me up when the next one is, but I didn't tell him give me the link now, because I know it's today. Yeah, he's one of the most gullible elders that I've ever spoken to, and I actually sort of feel bad sometimes. But then I remember the stuff he said in that one video where he's covering up all the child abuse, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Never mind. Don't feel that bad. So for he was the first one I ran into where they made it so you can only message the co-host or the host. Oops. My bad. Hold on. Why my head was on top of the chat. Anyway, yeah, so he made it so that you can only message whoever was running the Zoom made it so you can only message the person running the Zoom or the co-host. So I went ahead and shot the co-host a message anyway. You must have been thinking it was Jehovah's Holy Spirit. That's funny. He probably was. He's very okay. So this is very sad, and I feel sort of weird about this when I do this, but he's like really easy to. I guess there's no better word for it. He's really easy to manipulate with that kind of crap. Like I think he really believes this stuff, and I know that doesn't make it any better. That he's protecting child abusers, which is why I don't really feel that bad. But still, it's such a weird feeling to like do that to somebody. But I try to tell myself that this is like I'm not doing this for a bad reason. Like I'm not trying to hurt somebody. Quite the opposite. So I don't know. It's still a weird moral gray area for me. It messes with my brain. But yeah. Anyway, so That one, like I said, I directly messaged the people in the co-host and the host because that's the only people I could message. And then I did the thing again where I showed the text on screen toward the end of the right toward the end, right after the prayer and right before they're like everybody starts to chat with each other. Um, and there weren't that many people in that memorial, in memorial number 3, in the Zoom one anyway, because like I saw that they were all I recognized where they were streaming from. It was the assembly hall that they had built when I was still a witness in town. So I know they must have had a pretty good turnout there. But yeah, there were only like 50 people on all of the Zoom memorials except for that first one. The first one had 156 or something because that was a Zoom only memorial. They didn't have an in-person one. So yeah, so I did the thing with the text again, showed it as my camera. Boom, next memorial. And yeah, like I haven't looked at the footage of that one yet, so I hope that one came out okay. Next memorial was at like 11 o'clock at night or something, or 10:30 or 11. It was late. It was late. Um, that one was a fun one because I tried a completely different tactic. Okay, so I thought, okay, the text thing is great, but what if I force them to watch the video? Yeah, what if? I mean, because I can make my camera show anything. Why am I not just playing them the video? So that's what I did. That's what I did because they did the thing where they made it so you can only message the co-host and the host. And I had a friend with me, a fellow Ex-JW and Apostate. Even though I don't think he would consider himself Ex-JW. He just hates that term. But yeah, he was in the cult too. Well, he was not like baptized or anything, but you know what I mean. But yeah, so he was in there with me, and he was kind of disappointed that he couldn't do the text thing that I had been doing, like send it in the chat. But I was like, well, I mean, you can always get on the microphone and say something to them, when it's time to mingle and stuff. And he was like, all right, that sounds like a good idea. So that was his plan, and I was like, all right, and I'm gonna play the video. That's gonna be my thing. So we'll get him with that 1-2 punch. And that's not how it went. I mean, so okay, here's the thing. This is a screenshot of what happened. As soon as the prayer was over, I turned on the video, the Geoffrey Jackson video, and I'm going to zoom in here so you can see. Here, here's a bigger. Oops, hold on. Bigger image of it. There you go. So that's what my camera was showing. That's me zoomed in on my camera right now. My camera, and I put the red thing to block out the fake name I use because I'm still using that for a study. But anyway, yeah. So, so yeah, that's I played the video for them right when they were about to start chatting and shit. Like they were all about to start mingling and, oh, how was the memorial for you? Did you like that? Oh, how many memorials have you been to? Oh, this was the best one yet. It might even be the last one I heard. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So before they could start doing all that crap, that's when I turned on my video. And they were all looking, and you can see that in here. Let me show you. Like, I know it's kind of blurry because I had to blur it out for privacy reasons, and that was the least amount I could blur it for some reason on the app I was using. But yeah, so it's hard to tell a little bit, but you can see that they're putting their faces in the camera. They're trying to look at what's happening. They can recognize that that is Geoffrey Jackson. I am playing his testimony for them. So yeah, this is pretty awesome. The problem with the Zoom meetings for the Jehovah's Witnesses is that there has to be some way for the host and for the people in the meeting to interact, right? Oops, hold on, I have to cough. I'm still sick. 1 second. Okay, sorry. So yeah, there has to be a way for the people that are attending the meeting to communicate, because they do comment and stuff. And they probably didn't really think too hard about this for the memorial because, people usually, that's another thing, people talk after the memorial and before the memorial. So they can't like outright shut people's mics off all the time. They usually do during stuff. So during is like, it's pretty difficult to crash during any kind of meeting, right? So, but uh, after is when they're vulnerable. They have to let you turn on your mics, and they don't have to let you turn on your camera, but they do because they want to see that you're actually attending, right? So they're not going to disable the ability to turn on your camera because the fact that they're control freaks basically is their downfall here. It left them vulnerable. So that's what I did. I played them the fucking, excuse my language, Geoffrey Jackson clip. And so this is what they were watching right here. um, but yeah, hopefully I'll have that edited sometime in the next week or so. I am like so freaking sick. But yeah, that's what happened. I attended 4 memorials, and unfortunately, like I said, the way that me and my friend had planned didn't go quite that way. Like I played my video, so what happened right after that is like as soon as they realized that the witnesses were watching it, they closed the whole fucking meeting. They closed the damn Zoom memorial. Like they didn't even let them chat. This the second time they did that. Actually, that's the third time they did that. They did that to 3 of them. They didn't completely shut down that first one, but 3 of them, they were like, nope, fuck this, we're closing the whole memorial. Like they didn't even let people talk. That's really sad because if you're X-JW, you know that's like your JW Christmas or JW Super Bowl. That's the time where you go hang out with all the people you haven't seen in like forever or whatever. And then they're just like cut off like that. Rude. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say about that for right now. But do stay tuned because, like I said, I got in contact with one of the elders again, and I'm also going to get back into contact with the second one, the one that I actually ghosted. And I'm going to start doing stuff again. I'm going to start going back to meetings and studying. So yeah, hopefully this was helpful to you if you actually want to try crashing meetings yourself, because I can totally teach you guys how to do all of this stuff. This isn't like very basic stuff. I promise. Like super easy. Anybody can do this. And if enough of us did this, like it would probably drive them to like not have Zoom meetings anymore. Now that would suck for the physically and mentally out people. I would really feel bad for them for that, but like basically anything we can do to make them more insular and make them appear more like the cult that they are is great. That's good. That's better for the cause. Because nobody's going to join somebody that's like weird and culty. Like at some point, they're going to start requiring like that you have a freaking membership card with them. I mean, they do have records on you already, but like they're going to start requiring a freaking ID at the door or some shit. Like it's getting that bad. Like they already are getting weird. They got weird about the memorial invitations this year. They were very strict with them. One, they didn't give out a lot of physical paper memorials. Two, they were really strict about like who got to give out links. Like I've heard all kinds of stuff from different PIMOs saying different things about how they were handling it, but a lot of them are like, yeah, you have to like talk to a specific elder to even get the link, the password, or whatever. Like they won't even like you need to have in some congregations they need to have your name on a list like for you to be even allowed to be in the meeting, like the regular ass public meeting. Yeah, that one, the one that's supposed to be public on Sunday. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I hope you all had a great memorial no matter what you did. If you crashed, if you protested, if you left leaflets around, if you you just went out to eat, if you did something completely unrelated and you completely forgot it was the memorial in the first place. Good for you, actually. Like goals. But yeah, I hope everybody is having a great weekend, and I will hopefully see you soon. I need to go rest. I do not feel good. I actually got to go pick up some medication. So yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one. Take care, and not just of yourselves, but each other, please. I love you.